Welcome to the Tune In and Tone podcast with me and co-host Sophie Rosenberg. And today we're going to be talking about a little bit on mental health, how running a business can impact it, and how you and us also balance our mental health, right? Mm-hmm. And we give some tips on that. Mm-hmm. So, Sophie, to start us off, how has your mental health been?
Been alright, to be fair.
Been alright? Yeah?
No, I think that's the classic answer, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so go on.
Your first initial response is going, yeah, I'm alright. And then when we talk about it, oh no.
That's everyone's response.
How are you, mate? Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
And then you start asking questions, and it's like...
Okay, I'll narrow it down. How's the last week been compared to the last 2 weeks?
The last week's been better, hasn't it? I think for both of us as well. I think last month was a bit tough for both of us, but it was nice that we could be there for each other. Definitely made us closer as friends, because as much as we are sort of business partners as well, like we push each other to work hard and grow the business, but then I think we also forget the other side of it. It's important to check you're okay, because as much as it's lovely that we push each other, right, what we're doing this week, let's get this done, it's like we do need to remember to take a step back and actually check if each other are all right. So that's why this week's has been much better.
What do you think has been your biggest change to make sure it's better?
Being more open with those around me.
Yeah.
Because if you're struggling by yourself, just you, yourself, and I, you've got no one to talk to, no one to share it with, and I think you'll be surprised by how many other people are going through, similar situations to you. Feeling lonely, feeling sad, feeling overwhelmed is a big one for me. Struggling to juggle business, doing your own training, personal relationships, how do we have time? I know it's a big one for us, how do we have time to grow the business, see friends and family, and maintain and pursue relationships outside of that. But this week's been really positive. I'm launching my 14-day free challenge on Monday, so that's been quite stressful. However,
your first one,
my first one, so it's rewarding as well. And I like to be organised, so I made sure everything's streamlined and ready to go for Monday. But it is so easy to get overwhelmed in what we do, and it's important to have a good circle around you. But I think I'm lucky that I have you, because imagine if I didn't have someone else who
was there,
thought like me, because I just feel so alone, because no one understands. As much as it's nice I've got supportive friends and family, they don't truly understand why I'm working till 10 p.m. or why I'm working on a Sunday or why I'm always on my phone. They just don't get it.
Yeah, but 12, 13-hour days as well. Not like I'm gonna work 2-3 hours. It's
Well,
that was I was pretty much alone for a good 9 months.
Yeah.
Before you came in.
Yeah, I know.
Good, 9 months. I don't know how I did it.
I don't know how you did that.
I just cracked on. I think because I was so driven, motivated, I didn't even see it.
You didn't even take a second to breathe.
No. The last 6 months was quite bad, to be fair. I think I had my first day off, full day off, last week. First time in 6 months, which was rough.
That's right.
But it helped a lot because it was it was so overwhelming, and it was I was calculating my hours for a whole week of working, and it was.
I don't even see it like that.
No, I don't. But sometimes I like to be just let me just compare.
Let me just see.
And it was 91 hours on average every week. 91 hours. That's great. That's
crazy.
2 full-time jobs for most people.
Yeah, no. But some people just see it as sometimes I'm I'm only in the gym for I don't know, 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
But then if you add up the amount of stuff I do online, the amount of content you do, the amount of admin you do, the amount of replying to clients, the amount of creating clients' programs, everything.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Do I have a life outside? All the girls in my coaching program joke. They're like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? And I'm like,
my clients who think.
Working. And they're like, do you have a life outside of this? And I'm thinking,
the life is
My
inside.
life.
Yeah.
What do you mean? This is my life. Even on a Sunday, we come here and do it together. This is my life.
Yeah.
I don't care. If you love it.
Yeah, exactly. If you love it,
like work.
That's the thing.
It's a privilege.
It's got to be that type of business. You can only do it if you love it. Otherwise, you're gonna get rinsed.
No. But yeah, talk to me a bit about your struggles recently. It's been quite a tough month for you.
Yeah, well, I had just a lot going on. I feel
there was a lot happening to you. I literally was like, no, I can't. There can't be another thing.
I can't
every
be
time there's something new. It's like, oh, this kid.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's lows and highs, and then it's like even I spoke because I speak to pretty much you, Katie, my partner, and then my mum. There's like the only 3 people I speak to because they're the only ones that are like they'll actually be there or like relate or just actually be there pretty much. And then it was like you said, just one thing after the other.
Yeah.
It was like a dip in overall like energy, motivation, the business, and then that like snowballs. And then as I was like getting back on a high, then my grandma passed away, and I was like, cool, yeah. And then I was like, cool, okay, like I have to deal with this. It's not cool. It's like I have to deal with this. But then at the same time, like in Portugal, the funerals are like 24 hours, like turnovers. So I knew I couldn't even go to Portugal. So then I had to go. I was like, okay, pretty much I'm gonna have to like grieve and make sure I deal with it in like 4 weeks' time when I go to Portugal and everything. So I was like, so for the next 4 weeks, I have to pretty much try and like suppress it, focus on work, focus on everything else,
and then go. It's not happening.
Yeah, I've accepted it, and all, but I haven't like fully because I know if I do, then these next 4 weeks will be chaos. I won't get anything done.
Yeah.
So just having to manage that is hard.
Yeah.
Because like most people can just like, I feel like
most people in a 9 to 5 probably would have taken the day off.
Like the only thing,
or I remember when my grand died in March, I was doing loads of trials, like PT trials, and I came in the next day. Like I went to my grand's funeral,
and you came in the next day.
I came in the next day to work.
Yeah.
Like obviously I took the day off because it was quite sudden, so I literally went up. I had to cancel PT trials or PT. Went up to like say my final goodbye. Started the next day, and then I went to work the next day. Like it's that is a crazy thing. Crazy, but you can't. Like I'd already taken time off. Like, and if anything, it helps me because if I was to sit at home and just think about it, it would just eat me up alive. So I'd rather just be with people who I enjoy being around.
Yeah,
and that's work. But yeah, it would for you. You're like putting off the grieving process until you get to Portugal.
Yeah, exactly. And it was and then like what my like Dan said, business coach, was like, oh, if you focus on work, because it happened to him, like his uncle died. He was like, just work through it, and then when it comes to the right time, well, it's never the right time, but when it's like a space, then you like grieve.
Then you grieve, and then you feel things.
Yeah, then you feel things. Yeah, so he was like, the more you work, he's like, if you just work really hard, next 4 weeks, put your head down, make like your grandma proud, like do everything. And you go to Portugal, and you'd be like, okay, now I've actually got time for myself to grieve and everything. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And yeah, it's just like the lows and highs of like
running a business.
Yeah, like, I've ran like 3 before, but definitely haven't had as much like pressure because my other 3 businesses I never lived off income. So it was always like I worked a full-time job or part-time job.
Yeah, that was extra.
Yeah.
Extra on top of what you were
doing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then this is like if something XYZ happens, then you're pretty much all dependent on trying to like recover or make it better.
Yeah, no.
Or because you're fully dependent on it. That's like your own income.
Yeah, no. It's a very up and down because you're so high, getting from like
massive highs,
and then being like, fuck, what? There's literally just one day where I'm like, yeah, I feel on top of things, and then the next day something will just throw you off. But it's learning about how you deal with those, like if a client leaves or like something like that. Like how are you gonna deal with that? How does that make you feel as well? Because it's not personal.
Yeah.
Like some people, it just happens. Some people move on, but obviously when that's your income and that's your livelihood, you've got bills to pay, and you've got rent to think about, and you've got other people relying on you, like.
And then you have to,
Then it's fuck. But I wouldn't change it for the world.
No.
So much work rather be doing this, being self-employed, than doing a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me.
No.
And I know that, as you know, the business will do as well as we make it. If we work hard, it will succeed. But if we don't work hard, we take our foot off the gas. We're just so fucking harsh on ourselves.
It's true.
We do 10 times more than the average 24-year-olds, and we're like, now we're not doing enough.
Yeah, we're not doing enough. It's true. It's so true. But the thing is, first of all, I would never recommend anyone to like run a business unless you're crazy like us.
Unless you're.
Like, I'll never recommend. Like, I've worked like 9 to 5s. I've worked like normal jobs and all, so I understand. And it's not way easier, but it's way more sustainable, like long term. Yeah, like I forgot, like when I was like speaking to Katie, I was like, oh, I actually forgot like weekends. Like people don't go to work on weekends. I have them off. I was like, that must be cool. Must be quite cool.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, so like sometimes because I fully forget, I fully so disconnected, and yeah, so sometimes that sometimes that affects like mental health. Because like you see all like people our age, especially, you know, there's people doing like 6 months in Thailand, 3 months. I'm like, how the fuck these guys like. Because like a lot of I get a lot of my clients. This actually cracks me up. They're like, "Oh, you've got like X clients. You must be earning like quite a good amount of money." And I was like, "Yeah, in terms of like money that comes in, but then business coach, expenses, rents, like gym rent, softwares." Yeah, I know. And I'm like, actually, I earn like if I calculated right now the amount of hours I work a week. Obviously, this will get better in compounds in the future. Yeah. But if I calculated my like 90-hour weeks. To whatever I actually take home. So after business expenses, after everything, I reckon I'll be like £6 an hour, £6-7 an hour.
If you calculate the amount of hours you do,
what do you think? Yeah. So if you think like 90 hours, do you work? How many hours a week do you work at the moment?
Probably a tiny bit less than you. I do try and have 1 day off a week.
Well, 70-80, you'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70-80. Yeah, divide that by how much you actually take home to your pocket into those hours. If you think of it,
it's not looking a lot.
You're going to be like on £10, £12 an hour.
It's not looking a lot. I've got paid more at Home Sense.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the most rewarding job. But
yeah,
on the topic of, you know, mental health, I think I was lucky that, you know, our business coach Dan like basically sat me down because I was heading your way, not in a horrible way, but I was heading your way in the sense of burning out, overworking, working all week, like Monday to Sunday, and he was like, Sophie, you can't. This isn't sustainable. You need to have a minimum at least 1 day off a week. Sometimes I do, but what I do now is at the end of every month is I take 1 or 2 days off to reflect on the month I've just had, close that book, and then see the new month as a new one. Because what I was doing was literally just 1 month going into the other. It was all bleeding together.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's been a year's time, and you've not celebrated anything.
That was me for 10 months.
Yeah, but it's
I didn't know any better.
I know, but it's no lifestyle. Like it's super important. But let's talk about men's mental health, and you know how you have overcome the last few weeks, and talk about a bit like what you've gone through, as well as obviously grandma dying, and like how you think.
What have I dealt with it?
Yeah, like
what have I learned?
How do you feel about being open and honest about your mental health as a man?
Yeah.
You know, especially who runs a business. I think there's lots of men out there who wouldn't feel comfortable talking about the things that they've gone through. Whereas you've reached out to me, told Katie, but you only told me after Katie gave you a fucking nudge. But like, do you know what I'm trying to say, you know?
Well, I just always tried to. To be fair, this is even before I started this business. I was always like that, like headed, which is like, oh, I don't want to make other people I have to deal with my problems. So I was like, yeah, turn that off. Is that mine as well?
Yeah. That might off as well.
Yeah. I was just always tried to deal with dealt with by myself because I was like, cool, if I just deal it, then it'll be like cool. And then normally in the past, when like in normal life situations, it'll go over because I'll be able to fix things.
Yeah.
But then but then if you can't control certain stuff or things overlap, then it compounds, then you can't, right? And one of the biggest things I did for like the 3-4 months is I never told my mum. So every time my mum rang, I was like, yeah, we're good, we're chilling, we're like everything's going really great. I'll be there soon. And then once I told her, she was like, oh, it's fine, like because my mum ran a business before and she like failed multiple businesses, and she's like, that's one of the reasons that I like pretty much failed because I was like, she always tried to do everything
by herself,
and then it's like collapsed. So she's like, yeah, so you can't do that. Like, talk to me, talk to the people. So mom helped me a lot, and like, I thought mom would be like, not disappointed, but be like, oh, it's fine. I'll try and because I hate people that start getting in my own head. Because one thing, if I tell this to a random person, be like, oh, cool, maybe running a business not feel like, oh, fuck you.
No, fuck off. I hate when people shut up.
Like fuck you. The reason I'm doing this is because like I've accepted the compromises.
Yeah.
Of like,
I know that we ain't having a weekend. I don't care. I love it. I don't care.
Yeah. So I've accepted that compromise. So when when I either say to people, oh, you know, I'm doing this, and then they're like, oh, me, you know, maybe, you know, is it worth it? It's like, no, that's just gonna piss me off even more. So that's why I've always like avoided telling people that. And then also never had like people that I could relate to, like yourself and all.
Yeah.
Especially in Winchester.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are lucky.
Yeah, because like no one's really doing it like full time. Like most PTs and coaches will either do this as a part time or side of a part time job, which is fine. But there's nowhere near as much stress.
Yeah, no.
Like I could do 10 hours of PT a week, cool, and then have like a normal job. Yeah, easy. Yeah. Right. But no, because I want to do this properly. I want to help as many people as possible and all. So when I try and just focus, and then things like don't go right, or I'm like, and then you try and fix and they don't work, and then you get into like this snowball effect, and you get into this. Then it gets inside your own head. He's like, am I doing this right? Am I good enough?
Yeah.
And then if you carry that energy over to, you know, either new clients or leads or whatever, then they're not happy. It's like it just snowballs over and over and over.
And then you're in this rut.
Yeah, in this rut. And if you, and then if you don't stop and like zoom out, which is what I had to do like last week and a half too, then it'll just go really bad pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what was happening to me. So I'm lucky that I got out of it quite quickly, I'd say. It's like I'll say 2-3 weeks is quite quick. I've seen, you know, there's guys out there
struggle for a long
years.
Time, you know?
Yeah, years, and get into like super depressive states.
Yeah.
Or like drink their life away or whatever. So
it's good to catch it early.
Yeah.
But it's good that you have Katie there to give you a little nudge to open up to people around you.
Yeah.
Because it makes it so much easier.
Well, like you had our coach, like Dan. He used to have 15 anxiety attacks a day. Crazy. I think I topped out of 3 or 4.
Yeah,
that's still bad. That's still very bad. That's very bad. Like I'll just have like random like these what's it called, dissociation?
Yeah.
What's it called? Because that's what I think. Yeah, Katie was like, you're having dissociation moments.
Yeah.
But I was like having 3-4 a day for like 2-3 weeks. But
it was quite bad.
I'm thinking like Dan had 15. Dan was having anxiety attacks in the shower, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He got out of it. Gladly. Yeah.
Of course.
But when you're in that moment, you just
think this is it forever, don't you?
This is it. Yeah.
Nothing's ever going to change.
And I always say to people, now I know, it's like if you like if you're, it sounds bad, but if you're not going through these things and like fighting for your business, and if you're just like, okay, I'm just going to give up with this, then you're just not made for it.
You shouldn't. Yeah.
Then you're not running
it.
It's
not easy.
No, because you have to.
It's not easy.
And that's when you know you're working hard enough and you actually love doing the thing you do. Because if I didn't love like doing the thing,
I would have sacked it off a time ago.
I could just like the amount of times I'm like, I can literally go on Indeed, all right, and just like I've gone to a point like Indeed, I mean, good jobs, oh they accepted, or like it was like 3 weeks ago I got like
I remember that place called you, didn't
it? There's a well, so I used to like do sales before I did some sales before I did before I started this business. And there was like a sales company, because I'm on like LinkedIn, and they found me and they saw my CV, portfolio, whatever, and they're like, oh, are you interested in like, they're pretty much asking me, are you still doing this business, or like we're offering a job, and then offering a job description would be like, it was good money. And I was there like, and this is when I was going through that state, I was like, I could just be like, I could just click the fingers and be like, okay.
Temptation was
But that's when I know. And I was like, the fact that I said no and like kept going and then just like give it away, I was like, cool, this means I actually want to do this.
This means you want it.
Yeah. For sure. I like the thrill, the adrenaline. It sounds bad, but I like the adrenaline and the ups and downs.
I know.
They're addictive. They're very addictive.
Very addictive.
It's really bad.
So addictive.
It's very bad.
I just love being my own boss.
Yeah.
Like I would not have it any other way.
Yeah.
Like I work when I want to work, and I work with people who I want to work with. Like that's like the main thing for me. I get to choose who I work with. You know, I get to create what I'm built like the SLR thing. I get to create.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Everything.
I get to impact people's lives. Beyond the gym? Pretty cool. I get to bring a community of strong women together. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like that's all me. Like no one. There's no one else. Obviously, I've had help from you, but like that's all me.
Yeah.
You know.
You decided to go for it. Yeah.
There's nothing more rewarding than that.
But the thing I find is, which is like not the scary thing, but the thing I've just accepted is that even like in the future, let's say in 20, 30 years time, if we're not like doing the online coaching or doing the personal training, I could never then go back to normal job, because now that I've done this for so long,
it would be weird. Imagine someone.
I'll be pissed.
What to do.
I'll be pissed. That sounds really bad, Like, I respect anyone that works like 9 to 5 and all.
I struggle.
I rate it so much. Sometimes I'm jealous. I wish I could just have like that mentality of like being content and happy, having like a good job.
It just wouldn't fulfill.
No,
me.
Not anymore.
It would not fulfill me at all.
Like if I had to go away from the I'd be like, cool. Now I have to create another business. It wouldn't be like, okay, let me go and find a job.
Wouldn't be like, let me go work in an office.
Yeah, let me go and put myself in the worst even state. That's the thing. Do you do the same thing, or do you feel like you'd you feel like you would never be able to work like a 9 to 5 or like normal job?
I've always known that I will never have a typical job. Just the way I am and the person I am, I will never have a normal job. The most normal job I'll ever have would be, obviously I've got my master's in history, it would be working in the Foreign Office, and that is not a typical job.
No.
That's not a typical job. Like I've always known that when I was younger I would do something extraordinary. It's just the type of person I am, and like how much I crave to just do crazy things. That's just
I crave reward.
Yeah, it's just put like above the standard.
Yeah.
Like in everything I've done in my life, I've always wanted to do it the best I can do.
100%,
So whether that's like at school, doing really well at school, whether that's doing really well in my master's degree, which like I just wanted to do the best. Oh, I've got a degree. What's next? Masters. Do you know what I mean? What's next after masters? Build my own business. What's next? Do you know what I mean? It's always wanting. It's like overachieving, which does come as a
pros and cons.
It does come as a detriment to me sometimes, because sometimes it's like, will I ever be satisfied? And if I look back and I think, comparing what we do and what I have done, because I'm 24 years old, I've got 2 degrees, I've got my own successful business at 24 years old.
Yeah.
Like if you compare that to the average 24-year-old, no one's doing that.
Yeah.
It does come at like as a negative as well, because you always feel never fully satisfied with what you're doing.
No.
As much as I'm satisfied with what I'm building, I always want more. And I think it's so important for me to take a step back and realise what I'm doing, and like, congratulate myself, but it's just the way I am and my nature.
That's same as me. The exact same. I'm like always 110%. I'm a bit different. Like if I don't like something, I can never be like good at like a uni thing. I just scraped it.
I could just even if I didn't enjoy it, if there's a module I didn't enjoy, like,
I can't.
I didn't have a choice. I'd just do it as best as I could.
Yeah, no. I'd have to like something I love is going like 200%.
Something I love, I get obsessed with.
Me and
you are the same. Like.
Yeah. So that's why like this thing, I was like, I'll literally go to the grave if I needed to. Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, if it's something, then it's like that's where I'm like a bit different. If I don't like something,
you can't do it.
I can't. My brain will shut down. They'll just contemplate or procrastinate. You'll find every single thing. I'll try and fight it. Can't.
It can't.
And then like a school uni, like that's one thing. My teachers always told me is like, if I actually like school, you'll be like an A-star student. Like all my, I never, sounds really bad. I never revised.
But when you applied, Joe,
I never revised for any single exam. Nothing uni. I did barely anything. Like always submitting like last minute. I was like, nah. And luckily, it was on my teacher said, he's like, when my mum went to what's it called, parents' evening. My mum was like, your son's like very lucky, and it's like very unfortunate he's wasting this. He's very
annoying ones.
Yeah, he's very smart and he's got very potential, but he does the bare minimum to get past because he's intelligent enough to go, but he'll do the bare minimum because he doesn't like what he's doing. And I was like, frustrating. And I told my mum told me, sat me down, I was like, Mum, I literally just don't like going to school. I don't like the uni stuff, and I just accepted that. It's like, but no, I don't have to do that. No. So
now you can put all that effort into
something I actually like, and then that's when it works.
Yeah. So give me your 3 top tips
to improve
for someone who is struggling right now with feeling overwhelmed, specifically business owners, perhaps.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I tell to every single business owner or like manager. I think it's 3 things. Gym is there to progress, but also to good de-stress and mental health. Okay, you literally release endorphins every time. If you go to a gym, I'm not saying like go and pick up some weights and do like and then go home. I mean like go home,
really
like go to the gym and like really like kill your body. You come out of it on a high. Like your brain fog will be cleared. You'll feel it won't solve the problems, but it'll de-stress you so much. Second thing, with meditation.
Yep.
And that's one thing I even talked to like Gio on the podcast, and I tell literally everyone every time I get a weekly check-in, someone's like, "Oh, I'm struggling to be overwhelmed, or this. I'm not sure if I can fit this in, this and that, or I can't. I get to bed and my brain's like overclocking.
Yeah, them ones.
I was like 100 miles per hour. I'm like, why am I doing this? Program this. Okay, I got that. Yeah, so meditation, right? And I literally don't mean you don't have to sit there and like Zen or whatever. You can do your own way. I literally do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Literally, YouTube's got loads of videos, and I have to pay for like anything. You can if you want to go full for it. And like you want to.
Free ones on YouTube will suffice.
For me, it does, right? But some people like take courses or get like proper, there's like courses out there how to meditate to like a deep depth.
Fair play.
Yeah, it's a full thing. But at the moment, I reckon I'll do something like that, but not right now. No. It's sufficing it, anyways. But yeah, 10-minute videos on YouTube. Literally, when I'm in bed, my brain's going 100 miles per hour, and I know I won't be able to go to sleep. That, and then third thing, calendar. Google Calendar and organize. Like, so many people come to me, even I'm surprised. Like,
you've got through life, like
business owners earning good chunks of money, right, or doing really well. And I'm like, like show me your calendar, and it will be like, I have a meeting here, I have a meeting there, home time. I was like, that's not. I was like, that's not a calendar. It's like, if you're gonna be like successful, and you're gonna make sure you can work on your health and fitness. Right, you got to integrate that into your life. So I always say, when do you wake up? When do you go to bed? When you have your meetings? When you're at work? When you're gonna have time for yourself to prep or your family, like meal prepping, just so you can be more organized. And then once you have those white spaces, which would be pretty much basically you have nothing, you're like, oh, cool, I can go gym there, or I can put 45 minutes of my life to work on my health and fitness, to work on myself, or to spend time with my family, spend time with the wife, and all that. Yeah. So it's not like you're not paying everything to the backboard or just paying work as one, and everything else ends up being low priority. Yeah. So you can balance things out. So that's my 3 things. What about yours?
I like that.
Let's say for specifically women that are of young age, because I know you got a lot of clients.
I would say number 1 is have a good support system around you. Good friends and also family. You should always have people who you feel comfortable to talk to open and honestly with. Don't shut yourself out. You're not alone. There's always people going through potentially similar things. Like, I don't think I would have ever known that you were struggling. I don't think you would have ever known that I was struggling, because on the face of it, you don't see that, and that's not the kind of thing that we like to post. Like, I know some people would really, on their social media, especially as their coach, about having a bad day, but I want my page to be transparent, of course. However, I want it to be like a positive
yes, 100%.
And I don't want to bring other people down, because I'm very susceptible to other people's vibes and energies.
Yeah.
Like, if you're feeling down, I feel a bit down. So that's why. But be open and honest with your friends and family. Number 2, make time for yourself, whether that be go to the gym, keep that routine up, or whether it's just take time for yourself in the evening. I know a lot of my younger clients right now are going through A-levels or finishing university. Been a very stressful time for them. So we've helped them, as you say, Google Calendar. Are they organised? Is their life here, there and everywhere? Are they skipping meals because they're so stressed? Okay, cool. That means we need to meal prep the night before. And if you're going to the library for several hours, which you probably will be, take your food with you. Because it's so easy to just, and I did this, it's so easy to sit there with a Monster on one side and a Black Americano on the other, and just fucking swig them one after one, and sit there on a little laptop. Yes, I was doing it as well. Sit there on a little laptop for several hours in the library. Before you know it, it's 8 p.m. Yeah, you've done 5k words, cool, but you've not eaten a single meal. You go home, you're not sleeping because you've had caffeine after 12, and it's just a reoccurring cycle. So that's obviously something I do with my clients, help them organise, help them prep. And finally, it would be, what did I say? Open and honest. I think I've only got 2, Joao. I kind of said 3 and 2, didn't I?
Yeah, I'll say so. Yeah, but it all kind of links to the same.
They all link together.
But yeah, I was laughing when you said about that. I actually just clocked. I was like, I would have done so much better when I was like at uni.
If I
had a Google Calendar. Did you have a Google Calendar?
I had a calendar. I've always had
like you do now.
No, I've always had my whiteboard.
Really?
Always had my whiteboard.
That's like your autism coming out.
Yeah,
that's your.
I've got 2 whiteboards in my room. I've got a weekly whiteboard where I write down like general sort of like PT from this time to this time. I train from this time, and any like social events. And I've got a day planner in my room where I write down like the night before what time I'm waking up, what time I need to leave. Obviously my Google Calendar as well.
Yeah, I've always got it on my Google Calendar. But
like, if I need to be super organised, that's my life will go. If I don't feel like I'm in control of like the times I leave and what I'm doing, I just
everything goes
spiral. But I think the gym has helped me so much in regards to how I feel about myself, because if I compare myself a year or 2 years ago, like when I came out of my relationship, not a good time for me. Like if I look back and I think, wow, I can't believe that was me, and I can't believe how low I was. Like coming out of a relationship when you're with someone for so long, I'm sure you can relate to this as well. Like you lose a part of you, and it's all about finding that again. But fucking hell, if I didn't have the gym, because that's what pushed me to go into the gym.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Because I felt like I was in the gym before, but that's what made me go full throttle.
Yeah.
Like just feeling like you weren't good enough. And then, it was kind of like a revenge thing, but it never ends up like that. You just end up falling in love with it.
Yeah.
And I think when you feel low and you feel lonely, gym just became my thing. So I do owe it all to the gym and the people I've met, because I would not be doing it.
That's what I've said. Like the most, I say this, it sounds really cringy, but like the gym to me is a person. I have to think who's going to be my longest. Yeah, who's going to be my longest lasting relationship by now? No matter, even if I'm with Katie for the rest of my life, the gym's always going to have 8 years on there. Do you know what I mean? Like, if anything like goes wrong with your family or friends or whatever, I was like, it's so cringy.
Closed for 2 weeks.
It's so cringy. It's so cringy, but it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
It is true.
It's true. But yeah, end up on a high.
Well, we spend
too much time
together as well. It's the fact that Joao's girlfriend just texts me now if Joao's not replying. So Joao can get Joao to reply.
Oh, really?
She knows that we spend that much fucking time together. If Joao's not replying to her, he's probably with me doing some fucking work.
Yeah, she gets worried sometimes.
Yeah. Fuck's sake, that's funny.
Right, good. It was a good episode, informative.
Yes, hopefully people can relate to this, and
What's one thing? Okay, what's one thing? Well, actually, we'll end up on a good thing. What's one thing you'd recommend someone watching that wants to improve their either mental health or balancing it, or like the state they're at? Like one thing they should do, like right now after this podcast, that will improve. Like,
not watch. You said.
Not do. I said do.
Oh, do? I thought you said watch. Watch this back. You said watch. Fact.
Okay.
One thing they should do. It's a fucking lovely day outside.
Okay.
Get outside for a walk.
There you go.
Fact. Mental clarity.
A little jog.
Not even a jog. You can just 2-foot it. Why do I say 2-foot it? Is if you're gonna.
Just go out there and fucking punch someone in the face.
No, right, we're gonna have to edit this now.
Alright, okay.
So, go outside for a walk. Mental clarity.
Mental clarity. No, we could keep this up. This is cool.
Go for a coffee with a friend. Go for a walk.
Yeah, do something that you haven't done for like weeks.
Yeah.
Cool.
See your friends that you've been putting off seeing. Me.
Yeah.
Like when you're just like, oh fuck, I forgot I have to make time. Like when you're like adult friendships, you actually, because you're both so busy, you have to schedule.
I schedule my friends. I schedule
ahead. But like, I just forget.
I'm like, oh okay. I'm like, when I speak to my mates, I'm like, oh okay, cool. Let's meet up in 3 weeks. I've got a gap here for 2 hours. I can see you.
That's all I can do. Yeah, I know. But yeah, what's yours?
I'll go back. I'm so stubborn on this Google Calendar. If you don't have already, okay, go and spend a day out. I think.
Bruv.
No.
We're gonna have to put ad under this.
I should, even though they're free. We're
gonna have to put ad under this.
No, even okay. Whatever Sophie said is really good, right? Which is go outside.
Oh, thanks, Ron.
Go and do that. But then once you go home. Right, even it only takes 10 minutes. It'll take 10-15 minutes, right? Go and create that calendar if you don't have already one. Okay, it'll set up your week ahead so much better. I always tell people, try for 2 weeks before you make fun of me.
Yeah, I know.
And then you come back and you laugh.
When I show people my Google Calendar, they go, "What the fuck?" I say, "No, I have to schedule when I eat."
Remember when you saw mine first time before you even start? This is like.
It gave me a heart attack.
Because when you were starting PTing and you were like, oh, Sophie, you ready to have your calendar like this? You're like, I won't have to have that. I'll just have PT blocks and that's it.
Now I schedule when I eat.
All right, we're finished.
It's nice to be back.
Good stuff.
Doing the podcast. Good.